Do any of these situations sound like you? You don't want to get started on something until you can ensure it's perfect. And so you never quit, but that's because you never actually started. Or you run conversations over and over through your head that are hypothetical. They might never actually happen, but you are prepared just in case they do. Or maybe you double and triple check everything before you hit submit or have the conversation because, again, you want to ensure that it meets your standards. Well, this is perfectionism. And so often it disguises itself as being productive when in reality, it's just leaving us stuck. I am all too familiar with this because I have lived a perfectionist lifestyle, and I can tell you that it has cost me opportunities and precious, precious time. So today we're going to dive in to where it comes from and how to let go. Hi, my name is Leigh Gall. I am a speaker and coach dedicated to helping people get out of their heads and back into their lives by understanding those pesky little inner critics that have really strong opinions about what we want in life and so often sabotage us from going out and achieving what it is that we want. Today, we're going to talk about perfectionism, and let's dive in. A great place to start is, where does perfectionism come from? You've probably noticed there are people that are perfectionists and there are people that are not. I'm here to tell you that you aren't born with this trait. It is something that you have been conditioned with, much like other parts of our personality. We are brought up in environments that really dictate the type of personality that we develop over time, and perfectionism is one of those characteristics. So often, some of us have found that it's part of a conditioned approval. So as humans, we run towards things that give us praise and love, and we run away from things that cause pain or discomfort. So as children or as young adults, we might have found that if we get really good grades on our tests, or if we look a certain way and have a really presentable appearance, or have great manners, or score the goal in the soccer game, that we might have received more attention or love or appreciation in those moments. And so we learned to go do more of those things and walk away from the things that caused us discomfort. And so over time, these personality traits become more and more cemented, and you start setting really high expectations for yourself, not just in taking a test or going out and scoring a goal, but then integrating it into other aspects of your life, even into adulthood. Before we start the reframing process, I want to quickly let you know other areas where perfectionism showed up in my life beyond the job and beyond motherhood, because we can also set really high standards for what our kids are supposed to be doing or eating and things like that. But it was creeping into other parts of my life too. So for instance, I used to take a dance class at the gym for just basic exercise. But you would have thought I was freaking trying out for America's Got Talent because I was so hard on myself in this dance class, again, for exercise. And I'm over here scrutinizing my moves and my rhythm and if I remembered the steps. And other people in the class were fumbling around and messing up, and that's okay because the whole point was to just move your body and have fun. And I couldn't allow myself to do that. And there is a saying that goes, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And for me, that teacher was pickleball. Like literally, it is what started my whole journey around mindset and understanding like the level of self-awareness that I have now. And that's because when I started playing, I wasn't good. And that's okay because everybody has to be a beginner and start somewhere. But for me, that wasn't acceptable. And I demanded I get better so quickly that I started taking lessons and playing as often as I could so that I could get better as quickly as possible because me being bad was really uncomfortable for me, because you have to play pickleball in a public setting because you require other people to play. And I could feel that I didn't have as much value or worth for myself based on my performance. And if I was hitting it out or scoring points or messing up or whatever, and there was a level of anxiety that was staying with me both on the court and off because of how I perceived myself and my performance relative to other people. So it can show up in other areas for sure. To start the reframing process, I want to inform you that everything is coming from inside your own head. So that means that the standards that you've set for yourself, the ideas of perfect, only exist in your mind. Like, I don't have access to that. Your coworker doesn't have access to that. So the standard you're holding yourself to only exist from the input and the data that you have gathered over time. And it could be the parents demanding certain grades, or the gymnastics coach wanting everything to be perfect, or an old boss that demanded 3 attempts from everything because your first try wasn't good enough. It's these messages that you have received that you must keep trying until you reach perfection, as well as it's in your mind as to what perfect looks like. We all have a different definition, and sometimes we set standards for ourselves that are so unbelievably high that we can't even obtain them. I shared a story in a video that I'm going to include a link to about a time that I was in a contest and all I had to do was hit submit to essentially win a prize, and yet I didn't do it because the standard I had set for myself was so high that I didn't even think I qualified. And I missed out on an amazing opportunity in a trip to Las Vegas. And it really just shows the power of how we can get in our own way. And it's only ever us. So step 1 is just understanding that everything is coming from inside your own head, both the messages of you not being enough until it's perfect and the standards of which you are trying to hold yourself to. So now that you know that everything is coming from inside your head, then you can accept the fact that there is technically no universal truth. There is no one undeniable version of perfect. There are 8 billion different people on this planet, so there are 8 billion different ideas of what perfect look like. And when you can allow yourself to relax and understand that you are just one of billions of people on this planet, and that you are holding yourself to standards that only you can control, then ideally you can lift that weight off your shoulders of trying to be this perfect thing for somebody else, because their idea of perfect is entirely different. So even if you think you accomplished what you're aiming for, you technically didn't, because all you ever did was just please your own standards. And the irony is that you don't ever know what their idea is. And so you're only ever chasing your own version when there are 8 billion different ideas of perfect that exist in this world. Really, that's where the joy lies. I think back to those workout classes of the extra anxiety I was putting myself through to be this perfect thing that was just there for exercise. And do you think anybody else in that freaking classroom cared? No. That's because we all only know perspective from inside our own minds, and we think that everybody cares or is looking at us. And the truth is they're not, because guess what? They're in their own heads thinking about their world. And we have to experience a sense of freedom by reframing some of the standards that we put ourselves through and just go do it and experience the joy and the rewards that come from it. And the final component is kindness. You have to be kind to yourself because we're always just doing the best we can. And so often when we do something and it doesn't meet this standard, then we just lay in on ourselves and we start immediately ridiculing our decisions or our choices. And all that is that conditioning coming back. It's fueling those thoughts of imperfection and feeling less than. And the minute you can start giving yourself the grace and the kindness that you need in those situations is the moment that you can start living more authentically and going out and feeling confident to go do the next activity and hit send sooner and not feel the need to always work and work and work until perfection. Because if that's what is waiting on the other side, a big bully waiting to beat yourself up, then yeah, you're essentially working your tail off to avoid your own criticism, not others. And yes, I think others' voices are often our focus and our concern, but if you continue to beat yourself up in the process, then you're only making those demands harder for you to fulfill. But if you can be on the other side, welcoming that you tried and that you did your best under the circumstance, then you can start feeling more freedom to going out and doing the things that you actually want. I hope you took away something today that made you think a little bit differently about where perfectionism is showing up in your life, or perhaps ways you could be kinder to yourself. If you like this video, please hit like and absolutely hit subscribe, because I've got a lot of other content on how our inner critics show up in our lives. And I've got a lot more coming. And specifically, I know there's going to be more videos on perfectionism because it's been too prevalent in my life. And I know many of us struggle with this, and I want to be able to create more conversations around it. So stay tuned. Also, if you'd like more information on how I can help you or your organization really uncover their full potential by eliminating these sabotaging inner critics, head to leighgall.com and there is more information there. So thanks for watching.